Have you ever wondered why, despite all your striving, all your hopes, your prayers, your manifestations, something still holds you back? Why your deepest power feels distant? You've felt glimpses of it, a dream that became reality, a voice that warned you seconds before the accident, a sudden knowing that saved you, and yet, just as quickly, it vanishes. This isn't by accident. Because what if I told you your power wasn't stolen? It was hidden by design. Not to punish you, not to weaken you, but to prepare you. In ancient mystery schools, students were taught this one principle above all else. The divine is buried not in heaven, but within you. But until your soul is strong enough to carry the weight of that truth, your own divinity remains veiled, hidden beneath layers of trauma, illusion, ego, and time. This video isn't just another motivational pep talk or spiritual cliche. This is a decoding. We're going to unravel the ancient sacred reason why the universe, why God, deliberately obscured your power, and how to remember it. We'll travel through hidden scrolls of ancient Egypt, the mystical teachings of Yeshua, and the silent warnings encrypted in your own DNA. We'll explore the initiatory path once walked by mystics, prophets, and chosen ones who had to earn their remembrance. You'll learn the hidden mechanics of divine delay, the metaphysical laws that govern awakening, and most importantly, how to reclaim the power you were never truly without. Because here's the forbidden truth. You are not on a journey to become powerful. You are on a journey to remember that you already are. And the moment you remember, reality bends. Are you ready to uncover why God hid your power? Then stay with me. We begin where all secrets are buried, within. To understand why God hid your power, we must travel back, far beyond modern religion, past the birth of science, even before written language, to a time when knowledge wasn't just spoken, it was encoded. Across nearly every ancient civilization, Sumer, Kemet, Atlantis, the Vedic lands, there was a shared secret. The divine spark lives inside every human being. The Egyptians called it the Ba, the eternal soul capable of divine creation. The Vedas referred to it as Atman, the God within. Gnostics, those early mystics deemed heretics by the church, believed in gnosis, the direct inner experience of divine truth, and taught that salvation lies not in worshiping God, but in remembering that you are one with Him. Even Yeshua, the man many call Jesus, once said, "The kingdom of God is within you, not above, not outside, within." And yet, this truth was systematically buried. Why? Because true power is dangerous in the hands of the uninitiated. Imagine handing the blueprint of nuclear fusion to a child. Without the wisdom to use it, they would destroy themselves, or worse, enslave others. And that's exactly what happened. As empires rose and fell, power-hungry men realized something. It's easier to control a species that forgets its divinity. So sacred knowledge became forbidden. Temples were burned, mystery schools were erased, scriptures were edited, and humanity was plunged into what the ancients called the Great Sleep. But here's the twist. The divine never left you. Your power wasn't destroyed. It was hidden behind layers of illusion, karma, and choice. Because part of your soul's contract, the sacred agreement you made before incarnating, was this: you must forget who you are, so that the remembering becomes your awakening. This is the cosmic paradox. If power is given freely, it becomes entitlement. If power is remembered through trial, it becomes wisdom. And that wisdom, that is what transforms you into a conscious creator, not a servant, not a beggar, but a being who can command reality with divine intent. The great philosophers understood this too. Plato taught that all knowledge is recollection, that our souls already know truth, and learning is simply remembering. Nietzsche spoke of the Übermensch, the evolved human who transcends herd mentality and becomes his own god. Even Jung hinted that divinity lies not in the heavens, but in integrating the unconscious, bringing the shadow into the light. What were they all pointing toward? That your true power is not in acquiring, it's in unveiling. But make no mistake, this unveiling is not passive. You must be initiated. And initiation, it often comes as crisis, chaos, loss, or longing. That's how the soul gets forged. Let's go deeper. There are 3 layers where your power has been hidden. The subconscious mind. This is the throne room of your beliefs, and 95% of them were installed before you were 7 years old. If you were told you're not good enough, money is evil, or life is hard, those became scripts, and they now run silently in the background, shaping your reality like invisible software. The emotional body unprocessed trauma is frozen energy. Each unresolved emotion is like a dam in your energetic field, blocking your creative flow. When you avoid your feelings, you avoid your power. But when you feel deeply, without flinching, you unlock the gates of divine intelligence. The soul contract. You chose this life. Yes, you. Before you were born, you selected your parents, your wounds, your challenges, because they contain the exact lessons your soul needed to activate its unique frequency. In other words, you are not a victim of fate. You are the architect of a divine experiment. The pain wasn't random. It was coded. So why did God hide your power? Because hiding implies seeking, and seeking implies transformation. You are not here to be saved. You are here to remember that the same divine intelligence that spins galaxies also spins within your DNA. And when you remember, your energy changes, your frequency elevates, synchronicities flood in. You begin to create not from desperation, but from alignment. And the world around you must shift, because reality doesn't respond to your wants, it responds to your frequency. This is the ancient secret modern society never wanted you to know. You are the temple. You are the priest. You are the power. But that realization only comes when you stop searching outward and start returning inward. Next, we'll go even deeper into the hidden mechanics of manifestation, divine forgetfulness, and the spiritual amnesia that has kept humanity in chains. We'll decode the paradox of why most spiritual teachings actually delay your power, and how to pierce through the veil. Are you ready for what lies behind it? Let me ask you something. Why is it that with all the books, teachings, meditations, and gurus, so many still feel stuck? Why does it feel like the more you seek truth, the further it drifts? Here's the hidden paradox. The more you chase power externally, the more you reinforce the illusion that you don't already have it. This is the cosmic game of hide and seek. But unlike a child's game, this one is rigged with mirrors. Let's break this down. In nearly every sacred tradition, there's a concept known as divine forgetfulness. In Gnostic Christianity, it's the fall into matter, the soul descending into flesh, forgetting its source. In Hinduism, it's Maya, the grand illusion, veiling your true nature. And in Kabbalah, it's called the shattering of the vessels, a purposeful breaking of divine light into fragments scattered across creation. Why? Why would God fragment itself? Why would divinity forget its own reflection? Because only through forgetting can the joy of remembering exist. Only through darkness can you choose the light. And only through limitation can you earn infinity. This is the code behind your struggle. You were not meant to ascend into power. You were meant to excavate it from within the rubble of your old self. But here's where it gets more complex. You've been trained, since childhood, not just to forget your power, but to fear it. Think about it. Religions say, you are a sinner. Schools say, follow the rules. Governments say, we know best. Every system around you is designed to externalize authority, so that you never look inward long enough to realize you are source experiencing itself through form. They don't teach you how to harness intention. They don't teach you how your thoughts sculpt reality. They don't teach you how trauma becomes density in your energy field. Because if they did, the game would collapse. Imagine billions of awakened creators walking the earth, no longer bound by fear, shame, or guilt. That's not a society you can control. That's not a consumer you can manipulate. And so, Your power was hidden behind layers of spiritual amnesia, emotional suppression, and social programming. But even deeper still, there's a mechanism, an engine, that controls your ability to access power. It's called alignment. Here's how it works. Power doesn't respond to your desire. It responds to your resonance. You could want freedom. You could want money. You could want deep love. But if your frequency is still rooted in lack, fear, or unworthiness, you will repel the very thing you desire. This is why people say manifestation doesn't work. It's not that it doesn't work. It's that it's too accurate. It doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you are. So how do you shift that? We'll get into the exact steps in the next section, but first, a final truth. The prison is made of belief. The key was never lost. It was placed in your hand before you were born. But your ego had to forget. Your soul had to remember. And you had to walk the burning bridge between them. Because only then does the return to power become sacred. Now let's move into what this means for your life, and how you can apply these truths to awaken your dormant power, realign with your original frequency, and manifest from a place of divine command. You don't need more affirmations. You don't need another guru. You don't need to wait for the stars to align. What you need is to remember who you were before the world told you who to be. Because the moment you realign with that version, the one buried beneath programming, pain, and pretense, power returns, not as something new, but as something ancient. So how do you do that? Here are 3 metaphysical practices that are simple, but profound. Think of them as keys to unlock the doors that have always been inside you. 1. Shadow dialogue. Speaking with the forgotten self. Most people try to kill the ego, but that's a misunderstanding. Your ego is not your enemy. It's your wounded child. It's your scared protector. It only blocks your power because it fears your transformation. So instead of fighting it, speak to it. Practice. Sit in silence with a journal. Close your eyes and ask, what part of me is still afraid of my own power? Let the answer come from within. Write what you hear. Don't censor it. This is your shadow speaking. Now reply from your higher self. This is not therapy. This is alchemy. You are turning inner resistance into raw fuel. 2. Quantum presence ritual. Every single day, you're sending out vibrations, consciously or unconsciously. What you dwell in, you become. So the question is, are you living from memory or from frequency? Practice. Every morning before touching your phone, do this. Close your eyes. Visualize the version of you that's already living your highest reality. See what they wear, how they walk, how they speak. Now say out loud, I am now the vibration of my future. Then act as if it were already done. Every micro choice must mirror the macro vision. Because manifestation is not about what you want. It's about what you embody. 3. Power recall. Mantra. Your power wasn't destroyed, it was fragmented. Each trauma, each betrayal, each moment of self-abandonment left a piece of you behind. It's time to reclaim them. Practice. At night, whisper this mantra. I call back all my power from all people, places, timelines, and lifetimes now. Repeat it 7 times. Feel the energy returning. You might feel chills, emotions, vivid dreams. This is you becoming whole again. But let me be clear. This isn't about becoming superior. This is about becoming sovereign. You don't awaken power to control others. You awaken it to control your own reality. That's the God frequency. The space where vision becomes matter, where thought becomes form, where you no longer react to life. Because you are life, and life moves by your word. But this path isn't instant. There will be tests. The universe doesn't ask, are you ready? It asks, are you willing? Willing to lose your false self. Willing to walk alone for a while. Willing to let go of the lie that you are anything less than divine in human form. Because on the other side of that surrender is the power that was never truly hidden, only waiting. So now you know. God never truly hid your power. He veiled it, not as punishment, but as preparation. Because true power, real, unshakable, divine power, is not something given. It is something remembered. It is something earned through initiation, not through temples or rituals, but through the fire of everyday life. The heartbreaks that shattered your illusions, the losses that stripped you bare, the moments of silence where no one came to save you, all of it was initiation. You were never abandoned. You were being forged. See, if your power had been activated while you still craved validation, you would have sold your soul for applause. If it had awakened while you still feared being alone, you would have traded it for company. But now you're different. Now you're dangerous, to the matrix, to mediocrity, to every system that thrives on your forgetfulness. Because you remember, you're not here to follow. You're not here to fit in. You're here to create, command, collapse, and construct. You're here to become the Word made flesh, to rewrite your reality like a living scripture. One choice, one vibration, one quantum breath at a time. And if you feel the call in your chest, if something ancient stirred inside you while listening, that's not coincidence, that's memory. That's you on the edge of remembrance, and once you cross that edge, there's no going back. So I leave you with one question. If you stopped pretending to be powerless, who would you become tomorrow? Let that question haunt you. Let it free you. And if you're ready to dive deeper, unlock more hidden truths, and rise into your real form, you know what to do. Tap in. Subscribe. The God frequency is only just beginning.